Hey everyone, just a little side note before this unscripted video begins. I'm so sorry, something went wrong with my microphone as I was recording that, so you might notice the audio of this video is pretty bad. I'm really sorry about it. Just try to enjoy it, remember to subscribe, activate the bell, and everything like that. And as I stand you there, I wish you once again a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. I know I'm late, you guys are all wonderful, and I wish you a great video. So ladies and gentlemen, greetings and welcome to the Azelrix YouTube channel. If you've been wondering, my name is not Azelrix, obviously. My name is Alex Sabaton and I'm a young artist, YouTuber and inspiring filmmaker, and I live in Quebec, Canada. The thing is, I recently started a YouTube channel 100% dedicated to Magic the Gathering. It was supposed to be my side channel. It was supposed to be a B project. But as I was working on it, I realized that I really loved it. And that I think this is what my main channel should become. So I'll put a link on the video right now. Go subscribe to this channel if you love the world of Magic the Gathering. I just talk about the Commander format, how it evolves, I do ranking of cards, recommendation of combos, etc. But there are also other things I wanted to mention. Normally, right now you should be viewing my video on the movie from Netflix, Tick Tick Boom. I was developing on the fact that this was the greatest movie of 2021, just like I did in January of 2021, saying that Soul was the greatest movie of 2020. But the thing is, this didn't feel with the all art January I was trying to install on the channel. And also, because of the COVID-19 situation, I was not lucky enough to see Kingsman or to see Matrix 4, for example. So right now, I'm standing in front of you, well, sitting, but this video is totally unscripted, I'm sorry. So I'm right before you, saying that the channel will take a different approach. First of all, I will probably rename it like Zelrix Studio or something, trying to change my nickname into a brand or a studio of some kind, because I really want to connect more both with the public and with what I do and what I inspire to do. There are a lot of things that need to change on this channel and also in the world of fan theories, because please, I recommend you watch my video essay on toxic fans, because I feel the more theory I do, the closer I get to becoming myself a toxic fan. You know, these people that say that the studio will owe them X or Y thing because they have been buying movie tickets for 10 years or so. People who say that a movie belongs to them because they love it. People who go as far as to harass actors that did nothing wrong into closing their Twitter accounts. And this, it all starts, unfortunately, with the world of fan theories. Fan theories, it's a way to dissect a piece of work that you love, a piece of entertainment that you cherish with your entire heart. And unfortunately, when you do that, well, you put an insane amount of pressure on the people working on said movies, TV shows, even books or comic books, etc. So I'm not saying I'm never gonna do theories again. I'm just saying that for now, I'm taking a little break and I'm trying to find a way not to promote these types of toxic behaviors. And I'm standing there all like, oh, I'm gonna stop theories, I'm gonna start pop culture stuff, and knowing fully well that I don't even have 1,000 subscribers. I don't know how many people will actually see this, but the point is, everyone who sees my video, or almost everyone, always give me such beautiful comments, and to reward that, I can't keep this up and keep giving you theories, even though I believe this has become a toxic movement, because I don't want to be associated with these types of behaviors. And also, I want to take the channel into a different approach. So first of all, no pop culture stuff, I'm not stopping that. In fact, I'm using this opportunity to promote a new show that I will soon be starting. It's gonna be called Fusion Factory. The concept will be simple. I will take two characters from two different fictional universes and draw a fusion of them. This idea obviously has been inspired by OR Hash at the YouTube channel The Ink Tank, that you should really know by now because I have a nasty habit of totally plagiarizing their videos. But the point is, Orarash's series is called The Fusion Lab, where he has pretty much this exact concept, except he's streaming it and I probably don't want to stream, or at least not right now. But my concept will be called Fusion Factory. It will be roughly the same thing, but with my art style. I might get some guests, like for example, I have a big collaboration coming up, but more on that later. The main point of all of that being, I have a professional fine art formation. I went to college in visual art, and I want to use that in everyday's life and merge it with my passion for cinema and for general pop culture. And I feel that this is the way it should go. I'm not saying, once again, I'm stopping theories. I might come back to it. In fact, if you've been following the channel recently, sorry, little scratch. If you've been following the channel recently, you'll notice that I did some theories on Ben 10, and every single theories on Ben 10 that I was trying to make interesting for you guys, I decided to draw aliens. Because I love to draw. That's everything creative. That's what fills me up with an incredible amount of joy, actually. Believe it or not, I'm a being capable of joy. So I will finish up my art month as I had announced. But I am taking this opportunity to tell you guys that the channel will become a lot more art-centered, and it might also become my secondary channel, as my Magic the Gathering channel might become my main one. I haven't decided yet. After that, I don't know, maybe the Magic the Gathering stuff will not work, or it will work just as the main channel works. God, I hope not, because this channel is not going off. But the point is, I don't even see myself choosing a main channel between the two. Once again, if you love Magic the Gathering, please go subscribe. I upload fairly decently, and I really try to pour as much as I can of my energy in that content. And once again, I want to connect more with you, so I'm gonna start using my everyday name instead of my nickname, because I've been a Zelrix for... Gosh, I've been a Zelrix for well over 7 years now. It was my nickname when I was in high school, or when we were all hanging out in my basement. We had that little inside joke that we're all in a D&D game, but we had no dungeon master. We were just a bunch of guys chilling in my parents' basement, and I use that as my artist name, and I will keep using that as my artist name because I really like it. I like the feeling, but I want to be transparent with you. So this channel will remain the Azelric Studio, but I will be introducing myself to you as Alex Sabaton, as this is who I am and what I want to be known as. Once again, I really expect with my content to promote a healthier behavior from the fans of fiction, because yes, thank you Spider-Man No Way Home for proving me once and for all that the internet is a wonderful place. But I think you get the point by now. The channel will have to change, and this change, it starts from me. So that's pretty much it for the big announcement. But I will probably be doing other theories in the future, because the Let's Talk Theory title card is pretty sick. I would hate the idea of having done it for nothing. But the main point is, I need a break of all of that. But by now, with over, almost 10 minutes of just me talking in the void, you might be pretty sick and tired of just seeing my pretty sick Star Wars wallpapers. So as it is a theme for the art month, I decided to use my knowledge of art to review my favorite artists and web artists. And since I talked a lot about the ink tank on this channel, I think that they deserve the spotlight, so these are my opinion on the ink tank art. So we are here on the ink tank website, and we're gonna start by looking at the artwork of Rob Orpelia, the founder of the ink tank. That If you know him as the Ben 10 guy right now. And let's start with that. Okay, here we have a character. Is this hand drawn? I think this is hand drawn. I don't really know. There are multiple things I love about this piece because first of all, look at that, the attention to detail. This is not that easy to do, especially on pen and paper or digital art or everything. The attention to detail very great, and we have a very good understanding of how light behave. I can understand clearly the light zone, the shadow zone, etc. But what I like also is that you can see a piece of the more drafty version of the piece right here. And you see these little lines that are here to evoke not only shadow, but a sense of texture, because in visual art, want it or not, at some point you're just working with a piece of paper and a pen. And when you do that, you can't always expect the people to know, oh, this part is supposed to be rounder, this part is supposed to be square, this is a flat ground, etc. So you can see here, by adding some shadows, not only does it delimit the section the light is not touching, but it gives a sense of depth. We call that an atmospherical perspective. What I'm saying is, the lighter an object is, the closer our eyes perceives it, and it doesn't just go with light, it goes with colors, with brightness, with everything like that. Opposed to linear perspective, which means that the further away an object is, the smaller it will become. Next, we have, of course, Rob is a big fan of Ben 10, so I think, is that supposed to be an autoportrait? I'm not sure. But the point is, I really like how he took the classic green and black of the show and changed the green for yellow. I'm not a big yellow fan, generally speaking, but I'm sorry about that. But I really feel that not only does it match the skin tone of the character, but it gives a fresh take of something we already know. Even the green detail in the Omnitrix, you can see them as yellow, the sweater it's yellow, and once again a very good understanding of light behavior. You can see that this part is getting a bit darker than this part, and this gives a very great opportunity to remind you that sometimes making light effect, it's not only about making light part more lighty, I guess, no, to shed light on the part you are trying to lighting, but sometimes the part where you don't have a light, you need to make them darker to really sell the light effect. And next, I took this piece for multiple reasons. First of all, Rob is a professional with light. We've established that with the two precedent pieces, so I'm not gonna talk about it too much here, but you can really see how the light hits the face. But what I really want to talk about here is how great these proportions are. You can really see that this is the eye of the character. It has the right size compared to his hair, his nose, his mouth, etc. And one other thing very important is in visual art is the fact that Rob managed to successfully transcribe the element of movement here. Once again, we're dealing with visual art, and this is, want it or not, a stiff piece. It doesn't move like a movie where you can see a character running, where you don't have to transcribe that much sense of movement as you see the character moving anyway. Here, the character is not moving because he's not animated, but just with the pencil stroke of Rob, just with the shape of the effect, the color grading, etc., you can feel the character disintegrating and you can feel the movement in the piece. Next, we're moving on to Ryan Usher, the person I plagiarized 3 times already, and am I planning to stop? You'd like to see me try. Alright, let's do this. So, first of all, we've got an autoportrait, and this is, I don't think you realize how impressive this piece is until you actually see it. Look at that. The cartoon side of the face perfectly lines up with the regular face, and you can also see the demarcation, because right here you can see Ryan's mouth is a bit smaller than his cartoon mouth, but that's because it's his hard style. Or otherwise, you can really feel him transform, like, you know, once again, we're dealing with the ink tank, so I'm gonna use Ben 10 as a reference point, but a bit like in Ben 10, when Ben transformed into his ultimates, you can see the ultimate gradually taking over the body of the alien, and this is the feeling that Ryan perfectly managed to transcribe in this autoportrait. Next, we have some kind of weird creature. It reminds me of Goop from Ben 10. And why I show you this is to show that Ryan has a different way from Kuro to show the light effect. Kuro will do more realistic light effects. He is more realistic in his approach regarding light. But Ryan, he has a cartoon side of him where he will just draw these little lines to symbolize not only thickness, but also you can see the roundness of the arm, you can see how the light touches, but that doesn't mean he doesn't have the realistic approach. You can see it in this kind of bone that looks like a rock, now that I'm thinking about it. Is that supposed to be a rock? Oh, that might be a rock. Anyway, the point is, Ryan is great at light. And he uses two techniques merging together to create this very unique art style. And if I show you this piece, it's also a question of proportion. Because, once again, this is not a human being, so of course it is difficult to judge the proportion. But what I mean is, you look at this arm, you look at the leg, the other arm, all that, you look at that with the head, you can see that even though these are not human proportion, they still manage to be coherent to each other. And that is why a good character designer is. They have not to be realistic, but they have to be coherent with their art style and with what they are trying to do. And this is something that Ryan has mastered. And remember that to be a great artist, you need to learn the rules, master the rule, and finally, the most important, break the rules. So congratulations to Ryan. You broke the rules. You broke them bad, and it is wonderful. Finally, once again from Ryan, we have this piece, which if you didn't catch it, it's a fusion between Vilgax from Ben 10 and Vlad Plasmius from Danny Phantom, because yes, some of you know the Ink Tank because of their work on Ben 10, but some of you might not know that they have an amazing webcomic called 5 Years Later, where Ben 10 and Danny Phantom cross over to defeat Vlad and Eon trying to overtake the multiverse. And honestly, I've read a lot of comic book in my life. I think this one might be not only my favorite independent comic book, but also my favorite non-Marvel DC related comic book. It's just that great. But the character in himself, what I like about this character is that it is a 50-50 fusion. You can say that Vilgax is overtaking too much of the fusion, and you can't even say that Vlad himself is overtaking Vilgax. Obviously, from far away, what strikes me is the fact that this is the shape of Vilgax, but with some evocation element from Vlad. Like, for example, we have the hair, we have the cape, and most importantly, we have the general colors. Even though it might be a little shortcut to say that, because Vilgax and Vlad, they both pretty much share a similar color palette without being 100% the same. I really like this villain, I really like this character, and also what he did with this arm. I think it's a very cool and interesting, take on a character that is already really great. Wonderful fusion. Ryan, you are my inspiration once again. So moving on once again, I don't even know what to say that I haven't said about Ryan and Rob with this piece. Once again, the lighting is very well done. This part should be in the shadow as the top of the body is bigger than the bottom, so obviously the light won't impact it as it impacts the top, but you can see the bounce light from the crystal. General color palette, very great. The only reason I'm showing you this piece is because I really enjoy it, and I would like to see more of whatever this character, monster thing, whatever you want to call it, is made about. This is a piece that makes me ask questions like, what is going on with whatever is controlling that thing? Is there even something rational inside its head? Is it friendly? Obviously, we tend to say no because of the color palette, the form of the smile, but who knows? This is a piece that makes me ask so many questions, and in the end, isn't that what art is all about? Making your public ask as many questions as you want them to ask? Moving on, we now have a legend in the world of comic book and probably one of my favorite artists of all time, including all movement, all current, all period, etc. He's called Alex Ross and he is wonderful. Look at that, just a quick detail. Have you seen this Captain America? The shading, the texture, it's inhuman. Look, even the reflection in the shield, it's subtle, but it is this little attention to detail that I really enjoy in Alex Ross's work. Okay, so we're about to see all the Avengers assemble, and oh my god, I don't even know where to start with that. Let's start by the colors. You know what? We'll start by the colors. So when we see this, the first thing that draws your attention, well, for me at least, it was the sky. You can see a yellow bluish sky, so the color palette, it fits the real sky, but you can see that something is going on as the sky can turn purplish, but it's really rare. And this is a very interesting take. Next we have the composition. We're gonna focus a little bit on the sky once again. This is what we call an active void, which means a zone in your painting that is far from being saturated. There is not, if any, information in it, but that doesn't mean you can't make it work for you. You see, if I go down like this, we see that the bottom of the frame all the way to up here, it's really charged with information. So it's like a way of giving your public a break when you use active voids. And obviously we come from the Avengers. There are faces that we can easily recognize, like Vision, Quicksilver, Scarlet Witch. There is the Hulk right there. But there are also some more unfamiliar faces, like did you know that this is Hercules? Because yes, there is a Hercules in the world of Marvel. And obviously they all converge to this point. We can see we call them string vectors. That's a way of evocating movement. It's when the line of your painting is directing to a single point or to different similar points. Single points here being Thor's hammer, with our main trio composed of Thor, Captain America, and Iron Man, all putting their hand on the hammer, symbolizing all the Avengers assembling. And this is beautiful. But you know what else is beautiful? Alex Ross is a master when it comes to metal. Look at that. Just with Thor, he did the reflection of the Avengers inside his helmet, inside his armor, etc. And why I really enjoy Alex Ross is because of everything he does when he touches to Iron Man. If you didn't know that by now, Iron Man is not only my favorite superhero, he is my favorite fictional character of all time. Sorry about that, I had to adjust the frame. So, as I was saying, Iron Man is my favorite fictional character of all time, and seeing Tony having so much spotlight on him because his armor is made of metal, and Alex Ross is wonderful at it. What I don't like generally about Iron Man comic book is the fact that either the armor looks too inconvenient, like for example the Godslayer armor from the latest comics. It's supposed to be Tony's greatest suit, but I really don't like the gear shoulder blades as they don't look practical enough to be a battle suit. Or either they look ridiculous, like for example, this is a classic Iron Man model that I personally don't like in most comics because for the simple reason that I have a 14 years old inside me, and this doesn't look cool enough for that 14 years old. But Alex Ross manages to make it cool by making it look both made of metal and practical for combat. Then earlier we were talking about the art of making your piece move, evocating the feeling of movement, and we're dealing with the DC universe here, so the Flash is all designated to be a great challenge for artists as he can move faster than the eye can see. Even the Flash can move faster than light, like several times faster than light. That's ridiculous. What I really like about this piece is how you can still see a bit of the Flash's head, like here, or the little wings here, the shoulder blade here, beneath all this motion blur. Why did Ross make that choice, in my opinion, is because had he just blend the Flash with this motion blur, we wouldn't have recognized him as much as we do, or maybe some people would have thought that even though they recognize the Flash, this is more of an abstract cover. Here, we perfectly understand how fast the Flash is, and this perfectly sells the idea of movement for this magnificent Justice League cover. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for today. Sorry for all this low quality. I'm really recording that on the spot, as I really wanted to be as clear and unscripted as possible, because I wanted you to understand how I felt about the channel, how I felt about these artists, how I feel about the future of my possible career on this platform. But I still want to interact with you. So tell me, which was your favorite artist? Which was your favorite piece? Should I do more of this type of artist review? Propose me some themes related to art in the comment section, or even though you haven't seen the first episode yet for my Fusion Factory series, propose me character to Fusion, and maybe I'll do it, maybe I don't, who knows. But as usual, I invite you to subscribe, activate the bell to be notified whenever a new video comes up, to share this video with all your amazing friends. It was Alex from the Zelric Studio, and as always,